Carlos.
Welcome to Fantasy Trek.
Fantasy Planet. We don't mess around with little island thingies.
What'd you say? What was that you said a minute ago, Chuck? Welcome to Planet
Acidosis.
Hey, smile when you say that.
Welcome to arterial sclerosis 6. There's so many diseases that
diseases.
Welcome to cirrhosis 2.
That's right.
Would you like some Jack Daniels? All right, where's my topic is Trek page? How come it didn't come up with that?
Oh, again, I'm wearing a black shirt with a...
Yeah, I was going to say your floating head again.
Oh, he's got the wooden beam behind him from the gazebo.
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
Yeah, watch your head. Let's see. Share. Let's go. We're talking more Prodigy this week.
No, we're not yet.
Beam on up. All right. Let's see if I can play you my new parody song that I wrote on Tuesday in about 10 minutes. Because who doesn't love a good red shirt song? All right. Quick audio check from you. I scared myself. I saw the meter moving for the shotgun mic. I went, oh, but it's muted. It's okay. My mic is okay. Level, a little low. Boost mine.
Let me know when.
Just a tad. Not delay. Where's the gain? Come on, you crazy thing. There. I think I need to update this app.
Which app?
My mixer app on the iPad.
Oh.
I go into the details for a channel and it doesn't show the gain. If I switch tabs to like, oh, let's go to the gate and then come back, it's there. Never saw that happen until a couple weeks ago. Maybe it's this new iOS app. Alrighty. And you gentlemen, how's your audio levels?
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pew!
80912.
I'm testing 8675309. Hello.
Hey,
BR
Jenny, how you doing?
Hey, I'm calling from BR549.
Junior, he'll paint any car, any color. Oh, wait, no. I just really messed things up that bad.
I don't know. I don't remember any of the hee-haw jokes. What were you saying?
I just messed up Earl Scheib with hee-haw.
Oh, my gosh. Don't do that.
I'm Earl Scheib. I'll paint any car, any color. That's $99.
For $19.95.
And back when Empire Carpet was just 588-2300, now they had to change the jingle. 800-588.
Yeah.
Today.
They're lucky they got that toll-free number, or they really would have been in trouble.
Yeah.
I like how even after the guy passed away, he's still doing the commercials because they just turned him into an animated character.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Empire.
Here,
hey, that's a Star Wars reference.
No, right? You silly.
Because on this show, the topic is old car commercials, apparently. All right.
They just turn him into a cartoon. I know how we can do. We'll make
That's
him
what's
into
going
a
to happen to
cartoon.
me when I'm dead. Service Now is going to take over and just make this little cartoon guy with the bow tie.
Yep.
Yeah. You'll be popping in.
As long as the royalties go to my wife.
Be like Clippy.
Nobody likes
Clippy. You're building an app. Can I help you with that?
Do you need help with that?
That's right.
All right. Let's go to the recorder. I'm going to do dual recordings on this end just for fun. Ready when you are.
Okay. Give me about, just give me 2 days and I'll, no, okay.
Yeah.
Right. This is popping in left and right. Okay.
3, 2.
This is The Topic is Trek, episode 165 for Friday, August 16th, 2024. Coming up in this episode, the Kazons come marching in. We bid a sad farewell. Prodigy has legs. More legs. All that and more right now on The Topic is Trek. Dirt Water Latte. Welcome to The Topic is Trek, the podcast that runs on impulse power. Join us for a journey where no show has gone before. If it has to do with Star Trek, there's a good chance we'll talk about it sooner or later, because on this show, the topic is Trek. Engage already. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Clinton, and welcome to another thrill-packed edition of The Topic is Trek. And since I'm one of your co-hosts, as I always say, there have to be other hosts. It's just math or English, one or the other. So, first of all, beaming in to join us from parts unknown with the hypno catchphrase that you will be thinking something about after he says it is Mr. Craig Stepp. Well,
I love it. That's the best one yet because he's on mute.
you were muted.
My brain has too many tabs open.
He finally quoted Marcel Marceau.
Wait a minute, is that the hypno catchphrase? My brain has too many tabs open.
I decided to start making a few.
Wow. Well,
You're getting better.
okay. Yeah, we'll go with that. And
right.
Also beaming in to join us is Mr. Chuck Tomasi.
Always happy to be here.
Well, gentlemen, I have show notes for tonight, but I remember last night, very late, I was looking at my feed here and I missed a story. So I just wanted to throw this additional thing in to start us off with. Paramount Plus announced that Sandro Rosta will star in Starfleet Academy.
Yes, I did see that. Yep.
And how many more announcements are we going to get on this show? It hasn't. I don't even think it's actually started filming yet.
No, I think I read that he was the last announcement they were doing before they start production because it's about to start really soon.
Let me see.
I may be wrong, but
they'll be busy now and they can't do these announcements. So
yeah,
that's good.
I'm sorry, Chip. We can't cast anybody else. We already started production.
And does it make Sandro Rosta feel like he's very special because they grouped together all the other cadet announcements and all of a sudden he's just there by himself?
Maybe they just couldn't find the right guy until they found him. So maybe it is special to him.
We'll have Rostofarians for fans.
Right.
All righty. Well, we are going to be talking about episodes 7 and 8.
Oh, wait a minute. By the way, at the top of the show, if you're not watching us on video, go check out the video and look at the little image that Clinton put up for the beginning of the show.
Oh, I love it. Craig, as fun as your cover arts are, I think we need to have Clinton start doing the album artwork.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like Janeway's working at a Panera Bread.
She's a barista because she's
Yeah.
Wait, that's like putting the inmates in charge of the asylum. Janeway at a coffee shop.
Look, she looks like she's working at Panera Bread.
Looks kind of mad. What would you like for your order?
Yeah, that's wrong. Here, take this one.
So this does end up as the thumbnail over on YouTube as well.
Oh, good.
Actually, I like the 3 old captains, but all right.
We can use that anytime. We're the 3 old captains.
I can't use that anytime.
What? Speak up.
Statler, Waldorf, and George.
George.
The lesser known.
The lesser known.
He was the red shirt.
We are going to, as I said, we're going to be talking about episodes 7 and 8 of Prodigy. So there are spoilers if you haven't seen that, but the show came out on July 1st, I believe. So it's been a while now. Even if you're watching it slow, hopefully you've gotten to episode 7 and 8 by now. And we'll take a break in the middle to talk about some Star Trek news. We've already talked about some already. So there's plenty of things happening in the episode. But time to head out on a main mission, part 1, with an appropriate sound effect.
Let's do the alien planet surface.
Ooh.
We're going to a couple alien planets this time.
Could you send down a cup of coffee? All right. Did my smooth air from. Anyway.
Oh, my.
Let's have Craig. Why don't you give us some of the stats here on our first episode?
All right. So the first episode we're talking about tonight is Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, Episode 7, The Fast and the Curious, written by Aaron McNamara, directed by Sean Bishop and Sung Shin. The short plot synopsis is after using a board conduit to travel through time faster, Dal and his friends find themselves at the mercy of a demanding Kazon.
That's a bit redundant, isn't it?
What's that?
Demanding Kazon.
Yeah.
All right, let's
he had that wonderful hair.
I was going to say demanding a comb.
Actually, the hair on this animated series looks better than it did on the real life Voyager series.
Yeah, it was just like they were having a bad hair day on the real life show.
And this looks like they put it up in curlers.
Yeah.
And left it that way.
Hey, now there is one thing in this episode I think is a first in Star Trek.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's start talking about it. Let's see if y'all figure it out. I may be wrong.
You're wrong. I don't know.
I usually am. But I think there's a first.
Okay.
Not a first for Craig being wrong. Let's be clear here.
Well, once again, we have an A and a B story going on here because the team is split. We have stuff going on Voyager and stuff going on with the crew on the Infinity. So let's just concentrate on the Infinity first. They're still trying to get where they need to get to try to locate the Protostar and Chakotay. Good old Chakotay just hanging around, waiting for somebody to show up.
He stopped at a diner. They didn't know.
Yeah.
And life on board the Infinity is not like life on board the Protostar. It's a little bit smaller and really wasn't meant for this type of thing.
They only have, one bathroom, and Jankum took full advantage of it.
Yeah, to the point where it's all clogged and out of use. I don't know. Was that a first you were thinking of, Craig?
Yes, that's the first time they mentioned a toilet.
Well, no, that. Well, you heard it.
Yes, a sonic toilet that sounds an awful lot like the flush toilets we have today.
Now, I did look it up. There was let me pull it up here. Well, there was a mention of course, huh?
Star Trek 5 had a toilet that came out from the wall.
There was a toilet in the brig. Yep. Star Trek Voyager had verbal mentions of heads throughout the series.
Right.
Deep Space Nine talked about waste extraction systems. I don't really consider that. That's a little different.
That sounds a little personal.
And of course, Zephram Cochrane was
had to go take a leak.
So, but there was never mention really of a toilet. That's why sonic toilet per se. But
yeah.
Hey, I don't know if I want to sit down on a sonic toilet.
Well, not after Jankum has been there, certainly.
I won't sit down on Sonic the Hedgehog either.
Yeah, don't go in there. Ooh, it's broken now.
And we get foreshadowing in this episode because they go out of their way for Zero to mention the joys of non-corporeal living when there's all this aromas and
senses to observe.
Yeah, going on.
You know what would have been funny now that she's had a corporeal body? I can't go in the toilet.
Well, she doesn't have it yet. That's for next episode. So
that'd have been a full circle Oh well.
You're in charge of fixing it there, Zero.
Yeah, bringing it down a notch. That's my style.
And we get a reoccurrence, not of the Borg per se, but we've got a transwarp conduit
Mm-hmm.
that shows up. Well, that they go to, because it was interesting, because the computer says it's going to take 61 days to get to where they need to get to, and they're all 61 days. And then Zero says, well, the computer also has this other one. It's like, you might want to try this alternate route that goes on the highway, you know?
Right.
Yeah. I've had that happen on Google Maps. I'm on one road and it says, you see where it goes 3 minutes slower, and it's you're not on that road. I'm like, why would they give it to me? But,
That's essentially because I noticed it on the reversed on the page. It says alt, like, here's your alternate route to get to where you're going.
yeah.
It's like, okay, sure, that's good. Now, understandably, you've got this mix of people that are like, half of them say, yeah, let's do it because it's faster, and other half going, do you remember the Borg?
Right.
But we have to
Borg who?
we have to think of the crew.
Yeah.
And this seems like something that, because Zero has gotten this message saying that there are some Medusians on a planet.
There's some, it's a non-corporeal planet with not just Medusans, but there were a couple other races.
Yeah, with I think at least 3 other groups that they mentioned, and they say they can help her. So we're taking a little detour to this planet.
Yep.
But interesting enough, Dal is still thinking of himself as the captain of this crew. We start out with the captain's log, and then he starts barking out orders, and
Yeah.
Gwen has to remind him, again, not the captain. So it's interesting. He still wants that leadership position, even when he's away from Voyager.
Oh, I'm mixing up the episodes myself. Zero didn't get any message about that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think you're
comes
jumping ahead there.
Yeah, I had down non-corporeal, and then I realized that's not.
All right. So how are we rating episode 8, Clinton?
I know. At least, fortunately, we're talking about it as well this evening.
Yeah.
So they go into the transwarp conduit. I forget what do they use to act? They use something to activate it. I can't remember. Is it
Tachyon
pulse?
Yeah,
because that's what you do.
Yeah. Apparently, it doesn't have any security on it.
Maybe it was an inverse tachyon pulse. Reverse it.
Reverse the polarity on the tachyon pulse.
1/X.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And I don't remember, did the transwarp conduit look the way we had seen it before?
It looked familiar.
Yeah, I think they were intended to look familiar.
Okay.
And while they're in the conduit, a little mechanical creature jumps out of somewhere and attaches itself and takes control of the Infinity.
And I thought it was going to break it out of warp.
Well, it did.
It looked like it fell out of that slipstream, as it were.
It did. It pushed it off. It pushed them out, and you could see him go right off the edge of out of the thing.
Was anyone else picking up vibes of the Matrix again?
In what aspect?
When they're in the transwarp conduit and the machine comes out and takes control of the ship.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm not going to get ahead of the season, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely can see it. But they land on a planet that they did not intend to land on,
and it stinks.
It stinks because it's got sulfur.
Yeah, I like that. He goes, "Wow, it stinks worse than Jacob."
Almost as bad as Jacob. Yeah, right. Hey, what?
Yeah, huh? He does it double take. Wait a minute. Yeah.
And we get a new phrase here. What in Stovacor is on our ship?
Right. I like that. I like that.
Well, it's recognized as.
I'm gonna start using that in regular conversation.
Yeah, and that's got to go over well with people. What? What are you talking about? Are you a Viking?
Stovacor. Yeah.
I had that for dinner. Great frozen dinner.
Yeah, Stovacor. Yeah, has gravy on it.
Well, they discover that it's a Kazon technology. And of course, if we harken back to the beginning of season 1, the way our beloved crew got to the prison planet is Kazons dropped them off there.
Yeah. They captured them and delivered them to the diviner. So they weren't all too happy to see the Kazons again.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Actually, I think, didn't Jacob go, oh, I'd rather it be the Borg?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it'd go that far. I mean,
no.
you survived the Kazons because they just kind of dropped you off someplace.
Yeah.
But when the Kazons come out, Zero and Murph hide. Now this time, I think they do a little bit better job of hiding than they did in the other episode, where you could
behind the consoles where you could see their heads.
Yeah, I mean they
Yeah,
were
where
way
the-
up high. Yes, we could
Yeah.
see them, but at an angle
Yeah.
where they couldn't see them from.
Yeah,
Right.
they were on the outside of the ship, up high. Yeah, that's right.
So that was much better. And you notice that you don't see the faces of these Kazons. They're wearing masks, which we're going, well, that's not usually the case with the Kazons. I don't know what's up with that. We'll obviously find out more about that as we go on. But that struck me right away. It's like that's not a thing that they do.
Yeah, it felt very robotic from the get-go. Like, their eyes are kind of glowing too, aren't they?
And then we meet.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
When they first crash land,
Yeah.
and they kind of back up, and they're like, "Oh, look where we're at," and they show all the ships.
No, that was later when
That's Zero
said-
and
Oh,
Murph.
it's a little
and-
bit further. I'm sorry,
Murph
it's a little bit
later
further on.
saying, "We're not the first ones to crash land here."
Right.
But what was your question?
Well, we can talk about it when we get there. That's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to get there in just a few minutes, but okay. Yeah, so they're taken inside and they meet the leader, the self-appointed leader of this planet and the transwarp conduit, and he's just taking all the things. It's Ekthi.
But
Listen,
he seems right away you get this kind of split personality thing going on.
yeah, I had a sense of okay, is he looking for the precious ring? You know,
Yeah. Federation is false. Tricks.
But I got to tell you, I also had vibes of there's something on the other side of that
Right.
glass when
It's
through
Landru.
the ice, and it's going to be a computer. I bet.
It's Landru.
Yeah, you can put him in the on Star Trek Lower Decks where they have all the supercomputers,
Yep.
the super AIs.
He needs a bigger cube though.
Yeah.
This one's a lot bigger than that.
That's right.
So he's demanding all sorts of payment for using the transwarp conduit, like it's a user's fee.
Yeah.
Want some gold press latinum. So gold press
That's the weight
latinum
of the ship in gold press latinum.
yeah. They don't have any. So he says, "Well, I got another deal for you. You can do this
Got
other
an
thing
offer you
instead."
can't refuse.
That's right.
He
And
says
he wants them to race.
against their top pilot who's undefeated. And if you win, you earn your freedom. So originally it was going to be, Dal was thinking, oh, I'll race. Speed
Yeah.
is my thing.
I
And he
got
said, well,
this.
Each
Yeah.
pod takes 2 people. So Jankum says, hey, let's get together. It'll be Team Pogdal.
Pogdal.
Notice how he made himself first in
Right.
that team.
And
Yeah.
then Gwen
says,
and
"We're all
Rock
gonna
jump
race."
in and say, we're all going to race. We're all going to race.
Let's be real about this. Okay, so now at that point, that's when we cut back, say, so you don't forget that Zero and Murph are here. Let's go back to see what they're up to. And that's when they discover the ships
Yeah.
frozen.
Now, I wanted to point out that one of them, I was able to stop it and see. Did y'all pick out any of the ships?
I noticed that there was a Federation ship that had
Awesome
a
section.
registry number on it.
Mhm.
And I just didn't have time to stop
It was the USS Cairo. And Cairo, this particular one was 42136. It was actually has a bit long history with Jellicoe.
Oh,
And in the comics and in I want to say in one of the novels, but also in Chain of Command. It was the one that rendezvous with the Enterprise D. For Jellicoe to show up and resume and assume command. So
Look at you, Prodigy, sewing the entire
yeah,
broad spectrum of Trek altogether.
that's right. Now all the other ships, you couldn't really read anything or see.
Yeah,
anything,
and well, I didn't think they were all. I didn't get the sense they were all Federation ships either.
probably not. Yeah,
I thought near the very end of the shot when they panned down, like the front of it, I almost thought I saw like the front of a bird of prey in there, but I couldn't be sure.
oh maybe, yeah.
Just didn't get a chance to look. So there's stuff going on here clearly.
Yep, they've been at this a while.
Yeah, it's been happening. When we see these skiffs, now the skiffs were an interesting design. I thought you had this kind of organic shape to it. They reminded me of something. I can't remember what. I couldn't quite place it, but one of the things it reminded me of was on the Virgin Galactic shuttles.
Oh yeah,
They had those windows. There were all those like little nodule things. It kind of looked like that to me.
Or almost the cockpit of a helicopter in a way.
I was thinking a TIE fighter from Star Wars.
Yeah, they had wings, blades, something or other on the
Some
side.
of them did, yeah. Some were more pronounced than others.
And I couldn't tell if they were for maneuvering, for show. I mean, clearly the last one we see is for show and for jabbing.
Jabbing, yeah.
You think he's compensating for something, Donkey?
Because the one that the pilot that has yet to be defeated is flying the wings or whatever they are in this thing are like twice the length of the ship itself.
I did like the way they launched these. They sort of elevated them up out of the shuttle bay, then aimed them down because the hole was in front of them, but not vertical. It was horizontal parallel to the floor. So they aimed them up and sort of shot them down out of this launch bay, wherever it was. And they were apparently racing through some caverns underground, which I thought was fascinating. So we kind of, I felt like we were watching the pod races.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Menace.
I think that you can't help but draw that as the parallel because I think that's kind of the way everything is now. It's like, oh, that, if they've got one of those races. I think we sort of said the same thing about
well, the pod races could have been Ben-Hur too. So
yeah, I think we said the same thing about I think the first episode of the last season of Discovery when they're racing on the motorcycles. Kind of had that same sort of. So I don't think you can get away from that comparison. But it was interesting because you've got ice on this place, yet they go very quickly from ice
to lava.
To lava. It's like, wow, that's like the Genesis planet.
That's the best insulated planet I've ever seen.
I was going to say the same thing. It looked like Genesis planet.
It's well insulated. The R value of that rock is unbeatable. You should build your house out of that stuff.
And they're doing a pretty good job doing the racing, but
not good enough.
Not good enough. It doesn't help it when the conditions of the game are being changed on them.
Right.
Because new obstacles are just being thrown in front of them because Ekthi is just saying, oh, well, let's try this challenge and I'm going to have this thing fall down on top of you and all these other things are going to be happening.
And towards the end, he lowers this big pillar of something into the lava, which causes a splash and there's a wave coming at them. Yet they all just sort of ride up the ramp. What happened to the wave?
Well, the audience, I mean, the crowd at the stadium wasn't all that thrilled with it. So they just kind of,
inertia dampeners.
It died down, the viscosity of lava and all.
Yeah. We do find out that they have some boosters. However, when Jankum engages the booster, Dahl just kind of goes flying off, bangs into the side of Gwen's ship, and she bangs into the side, and her stabilizer on her arm
It's a
gets
little
damaged.
fritzy. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Quit being so reckless.
yeah, because Rock says, well, what was Dow thinking? And she says, he wasn't. Which is okay, that's accurate. What I found interesting, though, is later on when she's saying that, when she's talking to Dal about it, when they're going back a little bit, jumping ahead a bit, she says, oh, my stabilizer, that got damaged. She doesn't say because you.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
So water under the bridge, I
Well,
guess.
I think that kind of leads into one of my points about this whole story, but I'll save it for the end.
Okay. Yeah, they're going along, and all of a sudden the lead ship, the hotshot pilot, and Dal's ship bang into each other, and they end up crash landing. Gwyn and Rock can win, but they decide to turn around and go back.
The Maj is not happy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not thrilled about it.
Exy.
Yeah. Now here's one of those things when Dal goes to say, well, we should check on the pilot
Yeah.
of the other ship. and Jenkins says, you got SETI eels for brains?
Yeah.
Hey, that's
Again,
my
tying that
caption.
whole thing
Yeah.
together.
That's my caption tonight. What a quinky dink.
He also
Yeah.
said pogs weren't meant to fly, which I thought was an interesting.
When pogs fly, there's
exactly.
Yeah, we need that on a t-shirt.
I did pick that up. That's funny.
What I found amusing, it's one of those things that you think this should happen all the time. All the time this should happen. And it happens in this episode where you've got Zero and Murph at the back of the room that Ekthi and the two guards are in. They're standing right in plain sight. And apparently they have their comm badge turned up to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not good at like stealthy moves, are they?
No. Of course, then he turns around and says, intruders, get them.
Yeah.
And I had a problem with something here, right? Murph is usually the person or the entity that does all the
Right.
big moves, yet he's pinned immediately, and Zero does all the flying and kicking and stuff like that.
That's so we could feed into the next episode.
Yeah, so I'm feeling like, okay, that's a little convenient for Murph to just not be able to slip out of this hold all of a sudden. I don't know. That just struck me.
Murph was the one who punched him in the face.
He did. Absolutely. So got that going for him, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, now this is another thing that right after this, I'm going, not liking how this is turning out, because they knock the mask. Zero knocks the mask off of Ekthi, and you see something glowing on the side.
Yeah.
Pardon me. And she immediately concludes that must be the thing that's, doing what, how?
Yeah,
How
that was a bit of a stretch. How do you know that wasn't like to help his sense of balance or something?
Because the next thing that she
blood
does
pressure
is
monitor.
Right. This is my pacemaker, you fool.
And I just said, I don't know if you should be doing that.
Right. It might be birth control for all we know. Leave it on.
Yeah.
And then you have the third thing that happens when she says, well, if the Kazon is not controlling it, what is? And the ice at that point decides to just collapse.
Right.
Hey, wait, look behind you, Clinton. It's right there.
Yeah, it is.
The AI is right behind you.
Now, I suppose maybe because the computer or the program wanted to get a hold of them, that it actually heated up that section of the ice and made
Revealed
a
itself.
door so they could
Yeah.
get inside.
Yeah, because it's little ropey things, board rope
Very,
things
very
weren't coming
Borg
out.
tendril-like, yeah.
Yeah.
But it turns out to be another kind of Landru-ish thing. This
Another artificial intelligence that outgrew its original programming
Hmm.
because it was supposed to train the Kazon pilots
to be
to have them
perfect.
be the best that they could be, and it just kind of
Kept doing that.
Yeah,
did it
very,
like a little too well.
very, very nomad of it.
You are in error.
Yeah, exactly.
And as they're having the discussion about, well, this is wrong, and you shouldn't do this. Well, you just don't understand because you are not, you are inferior beings, and look at you. You can't even. You're just hiding in the shell, a non-corporeal, being. But I don't know what to do. And meanwhile, they're not noticing all the tendrils coming down and grabbing them. And again, Murph couldn't slip out of that easily either.
As this is being explained, I didn't see this the first time, but the second time I did.
You
There's a
see
little
them
screen on the bottom
Yep.
of the chair. You
Yep.
can see here comes Dal, here comes Gwen. They're running from apparently their ships to
Oh yeah.
right
Right.
here, the
Rescue
little
them.
screen that's right there. You can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I thought was interesting, saying, okay, and I'm dealing with you guys, but it's not like I'm going to be surprised by
Right.
these people coming in because I'm monitoring all of that as well.
Also, let me add that your background is perfectly placed. Looks like the tendrils have you. You've been caught.
Maybe I have.
Yeah.
So the intelligence captures Dal and Gwen and Rock and still has Zero. And
Yeah.
Murph in its clutches. And Zero starts going on about nobody's ever perfect, and we're gonna fight together and die together. This very valiant speech. Turns on its thrusters and
She has her boost mode as
forces
well.
the arms and legs that are being restrained, rips out of those, crashes into this chair. This is the part where I had a problem.
Yeah.
Blows up pretty much the whole center. You see this horrific heat wave rush over the whole gang
Yeah.
and blow up the building.
We're fine. We're fine.
And they get up.
We're fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that must have been the lowest heat flame I've ever seen.
I got some rubble in my hair.
Not
Sorry.
even a singed eyebrow or anything.
Amazing. You would think with all that hair that Kazon has, and the product that must be used in that to
The
keep that
product.
looking like that.
It was
Right.
fire preventive product.
That's right.
But yeah, the only casualty is Zero, because Zero doesn't have any arms and legs anymore. Although, I mean, they still have them. I guess they just somehow it's too sophisticated to reattach them. And I keep saying her. Their lens is cracked. That's about the extent of all the damage from that huge fireball.
Right. That was a little overdone on the explosion or the pyrotechnics and underdone on the reaction to that. It's not like Murph made a shield or something. That would have been viable.
Maybe if you were looking at the top down view, maybe it's just a wall of fire that went to the side.
Over them.
Yeah.
It was 30 feet in the air and they were fine.
They were fine. That's right. Well, I was going to say that this was a Zero sacrificed herself because it looked like you didn't know what was going to happen to Zero, and she was throwing herself.
Zero's not a she.
Caution. She was throwing her caution in the herself and at this to save her family or crew. So I thought it was it was a little weird with the fire at the end, but I thought it was a pretty touching sacrifice.
Because I thought, okay, are we actually going to do this? That she's actually, again, they're actually sacrificing themselves, as going head on into this thing with this giant explosion.
Right. I thought it was going to be a full on sacrifice. Nope.
Not exactly, but she was willing to do it. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Hey,
Oh, so they leave, and the Kazon just waves goodbye.
yeah,
He became very mellow after he hit that thing off. It wasn't,
a gentler, kindler case.
yeah.
All that stress is off.
I
Trying to
think
please
I think
the
I'm going to start a a pet adoption agency now.
I forgot to mention it, but I can't remember what the name of the toy was, but the computer reminded me of this. It was a toy that had buttons on it. It was like a white thing, but it had a like almost a cut off triangle part at the top.
Like a Merlin?
Yeah, that kind of a thing.
Kind of, yeah. I know what you're thinking of.
Kind of a
I've got,
game.
I
I've
was
got
picking
one.
up a similar kind of thing too.
Actually, kind of reminds me of like one of those old 8-track robot games. Like you put the 8-track in and
Right.
you answer the questions and you hit the buttons. There you go.
The A track doesn't play well when it comes back out again.
This technology is built on an 8-track robot.
That'd be funny if Jacob went over and pulled an 8-track out.
There's your problem right there.
Yeah.
A little
There's
bit.
your problem right there.
Okay. Meanwhile, back on the Voyager.
Yeah. So Janeway's
Rock-
asking for there to be scans on the way back home, and they don't notice that there's anything wrong with the crew, even though
Michelle
you've got
does.
Gwyn just making noises like Murph and Dal just waxing poetic about the food.
Rock is being rude, calling Janeway's coffee dirt water.
Let's take our dirt water someplace else, shall we? But Majel picks up on this, and she has to prove that this is what's happening. So they stage a game to play, and they are being whooped.
They're playing Parisi Squares, which
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever seen played before.
So we don't know if it was right or wrong, or I guess this is how you play it now.
Or it's the Vulcan edition. Who knows?
Wait, isn't this the game that The Rock played when he was on Voyager?
Did
The
he?
one where Wesley broke his arm or something playing this game.
Yeah, I think we've seen it played before.
We'll go back and check
Pretty
the tape then and see if they're playing it correctly. Or we got to throw a yellow flag on it or something. Who knows? But Janeway is now convinced that this is the case. And then the doctor, the poor doctor, he's talking about the fact he discovers that this is very similar to what happened with the hologram.
Rodrigo, when he made himself hollow duplicate, said, "Oh my gosh, they've tricked me with my own literature."
And in the most Dr. Smith voice possible. Oh no,
Yeah. I can't believe I did that.
Oh, the pain.
That's right.
And at least Janeway is nice enough to say, turn off all the holograms.
Save the doctor.
Except for the doctor. And they all disappear, but Gwen isn't there. So they have to track Gwen down. Now, so it wasn't quite clear how they got Gwen back. They said they reconstructed Gwen as well as giving her own personality. Reconstructed her from what?
Hollow emitters? I don't know.
I don't know.
Dirt water? Who knows?
Dirt water.
Because she comes back and she's describing what we had seen before is that all of a sudden, because there's this 8-minute gap, not 18, 8-minute gap in the logs, but where did that time go? So time slows down and she describes, this thing, this noise, and she is just freaking her out and they have to turn her off.
Yeah.
But they don't know exactly what's going on, but it can't be good.
I did think it was a little weird. Okay, they know full well this is a hologram, and Janeway's worried about the hologram's feelings. It's a hologram.
I mean,
turn it off. It's in too much pain.
That's a little bit of good cop, bad cop when she's talking, I think, to the hologram to begin with. But even if it's just a hologram, you're not getting anything out of Gwen at that point. She's just just going into the fetal position.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, Janeway was touching on his shoulder and was trying to reason with,
comfort her,
be empathetic. And I was like, it's a hologram, I just thought it was funny. not funny, but just odd. I wasn't
I get
laughing
the
at it.
feeling
Let's
we're
put it
going
that
to
way.
see more of those tendrils that stole time.
Yeah.
Yes. We don't really
It looks just
learn.
like this. If you look at the video, you'll see.
Just take your fingers and go like
Yeah.
that.
Diddle-doo, diddle-doo, diddle-doo.
I think it was you, Chuck, that has a problem with this type of thing. I'm running a video of some,
They have to remind you it's a hollow, so they glitch it every once in a while.
and conveniently, she's walking past and around the corner from Majel only when Magel's back is turned or just past her,
Yeah.
it flickers, but not while they've got eye contact with each other. I thought, well, that was a bit convenient.
Yeah, it didn't like glitch until it walked around the corner almost, or just past Majel.
All right. So, any more additional thoughts on? And I'm on this episode is sorry, the Fast and the Curious. We've got our pun
Well,
title for
well, the
this
one
one.
thing, yeah, at the very end, the Majel starts to figure out a little bit, or at least get a hint that this isn't right. That because she opens, finally the door
Mhm.
opens up, and Gwen's not there at all, and when the time stopped, so she's starting to get a clue that something's not right.
Right. They like I said, they don't really know what, but it does not bode well
Hmm.
for things.
The one thing I was going to bring up was I think for them, for the kids, that this is a team building kind of thing, or a bonding moment, I guess, for the team, because the things they went through, like you said, Gwen, the way she didn't blame Doll for hitting the ship and ruining my the emitter,
Stabilizer, yeah.
or the stabilizer, excuse me. And of course, right at the end when they're going back on the ship, I've had enough competition for, you know, personal competition for a day, and they're all kind of together, and I just felt like it was a good, bonding moment for them.
So, how are we feeling about Dahl these days? Because at the beginning of the episode, he's doing his captain's log, I
Mhm.
think, right in this episode, and they're all saying, "Really, captain's log? No, I don't think so." And he said, my crew, they can have my ship, but they can't hurt my crew. But he's still being reckless.
He
As
is,
in,
but I saw some parts in here where he looked like he's grown a little bit, like when they wrecked and they thought there was another pilot in the other ship. He
true.
immediately, once he made sure everything was okay on his with Jacob, he ran over there and realized what was going on. So not only that, but he changed his mind pretty quick early on when they were going to divert their
That's true. That's
thing.
true.
So there's some other things coming up on the next episode. I think it's pushing him a little bit towards being more of a thoughtful person rather than reckless.
All right. What are we going to rate this on?
Dirt water.
Oh, we're going right to the dirt water, huh?
I
All
was going to
right.
say Kazons, but okay.
Cups of dirt water, I guess.
All right, let's do the dirt water.
Okay. All right. Why?
Oh, we froze for a sec.
He
Now
got
we don't
nervous.
know what order we're going in.
Oh, sorry.
He got nervous.
Uh,
Oh, there you are. You're back.
Who's first?
Who's first,
Chuck.
Clinton?
Me first. I'm going to give this one a 8. I liked it. It moved the story along. There were a couple parts in there like, wow, that was a heck of an explosion and no one got hurt. That kind of went, yeah, that was a little off. But in general, I liked it. I liked where the characters were going. There were hints at other familiar tropes like the racing, but what are you going to do? So I liked it.
Okay. What about you, Craig?
I'm going to agree. It wasn't a solid episode for me, but enough where it moved the story along. There were some couple little weird things, like you guys mentioned, with the glass breaking all of a sudden at that moment, or the ice rather, to reveal the real villain. but I'm gonna give it an 8 because I thought it had enough to it, especially the team building aspect. I felt like it was there.
You like the toilet humor.
A little bit of toilet humor, just enough toilet humor. So I thought it was a good episode. So I give it an 8.
Okay. I'm going to go a little lower. I'm going to do a 7.75. We can do quarters. What?
Yes.
What? We can do quarters.
Yeah, why not?
To me, I agree that it was a interesting episode. It drove the story forward a little bit. But the reason that I like this episode is because for us, it's a Star Trek trope that you have this computer. And, the first time we experienced that was in the original series, and we've had, several since then. But if this is aimed at a younger audience as their introduction to Trek, then that's their first time having this kind of thing happen.
True.
Brainwashing them, telling them AI is no good, kids.
Right.
But it's looking at from the standpoint of, all right, well, that's a interesting concept, and they do spend some time on it. This banter back and forth between Zero and the program about, well, you should do this. Well, I feel this way, and well, you're wrong, and that type of stuff. So
did that computer / program / system have a name or a number designation? I didn't pick it up.
I didn't pick out anything up. I don't think it did. They just referred to it as the program.
That was different. Usually they do give a designation of some type to those things,
which makes a bit of sense. I mean, what do you got? The pilot training program. That's an awful long thing to keep saying every single time. So let's just say, the program. All right. So those are our ratings for the Fast and the Curious. Not furious. Curious.
Curious.
Curios. They have a bunch of Curios.
Yeah,
Curios. The Fast and the Cheerios.
Yeah.
All right, so let me get myself back over here, and it's time for the part of the show where we get to do subspace chatter. Well, I say we get to do subspace chatter. I'm not really sure, because in order to do that, we have to check in with Charlie. And as you may or may not know, we now have two versions of Charlie. We have Charlie X and we have Mirror Charlie, and we never know who we're going to get any particular week. So I'm going to ask Charlie, are we all set for subspace chatter?
Sure thing, friend. I love subspace chatter. Let's get going.
All right.
Going.
It's Mirror Charlie and his
Zap Brannigan there for a second.
Yeah.
Really,
let's get going.
his really bad goatee.
Yeah.
We're convinced that it's just
magic marker.
With some marker.
He's a little psychotic there too. He's like,
Beard
friend. I love subspace chatter.
Beard by Sharpie.
He should I don't know. He should grow one. He's all powerful. Why can't he just
and he goes,
yeah. Full beard comes out.
I want to shave.
All right, so let me get here to our first story. Yes. All right, so let's start off with here. All 13 Star Trek movies are currently available on Pluto TV for free. Each is available on demand, but there is also a streaming channel similar to the service's other offerings. Both Star Trek The Motion Picture and this seems to be what I couldn't verify it, but it looks like to me both the original version of The Motion Picture and the director's cut are on the service.
Oh, really? Okay.
It wouldn't play because it was available in the streaming part. The icon that I saw for it.
Oh, the on demand, or they don't have a channel for it?
Well, when I thought I was clicking on the on demand one, it was going to a channel, and the channel was showing another Star Trek movie. So I didn't get a chance to go back and check again. But one says Star Trek The Motion Picture, and one actually says Star Trek The Motion Picture, the director's cut. So who knows? Okay. We don't know how long the movies will be on the service, though. I don't know whether it's just for the summer. or it's going to be a permanent thing. I know that at least one of the other movies is also in rotation on, I think it's Netflix. I think Netflix has Star Trek Beyond at the
I
moment.
think because I watched it the other night. I think I saw it on there. Yeah.
So movies are everywhere at the moment.
Yep. Well, speaking of everywhere, the Federation and the Thermians have joined forces, at least on Starfleet Command. Scopely and Paramount are currently offering a limited time event where you can boldly go where not even Grapthar's hammer has gone before. In this new challenge, Galaxy Quest's Jason Nesmith inadvertently sends the Protector and her crew hurtling through space-time continuum, launching themselves into the Star Trek Fleet Command universe. That's right. Soon attacked by the uh, Fatikray and the Orion vessels, they have attempted to return using the Omega 13 device. I'm sorry, I kind of laugh every time I think about that thing. Device it sends them back in time where they meet the captain of the USS Enterprise, James T. Kirk. I started to say Captain Pike, but
Yeah. How soon they forget.
first Doctor Who, now this. What's next?
I don't know. It's a lot of stream crossing going on right now in Trek.
Yeah.
Hey, remember? This is some podcasting inside baseball. Remember? Was it Slice of Sci-Fi? They had that ongoing conversation argument about what spaceships would win Star Wars and Star Trek, about which ones were more powerful. It'd be funny if that was crossed over.
Wow. That would really ruffle some feathers.
Ruffle,
Well,
ruffle, ruffle.
you get everybody interested in it then at that point. I do like how Kirk is brooding over Jason's sitting in the
Yeah,
captain's
because
chair.
they take the ship out and they scrape along the side of the
Yeah.
dry dock.
Yeah, they take the Enterprise out and you go just like in the Galaxy Quest. That was pretty funny. Actually,
Alrighty.
I think they even scratched it worse.
Yeah.
Next story. We here at the Topic of Trek are saddened by the passing of Patty Yasutake, who portrayed Nurse Alyssa Ogawa on Star Trek The Next Generation and a pair of franchise movies. Oh. In addition to Trek, Yasutake played a relocated Japanese wife, earnestly trying to Americanize in the Ron Howard directed 1986 film Gung Ho, as well as in the brief ABC series adaptation. She received an Independent Spirit Award nomination for her turn in The Wash, and her big screen resume included Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Which I believe is a Sylvester Stallone movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
a
Yeah.
documentary. And Drop Dead Gorgeous. Yasutake died on August 5th at UCLA Santa Monica Medical Center. She was battling a rare form of T-cell lymphoma. She passed at the age of 70.
Oh, it's terrible.
And once again, proof that cancer sucks. Okay. Now, let's move on to some hopefully brighter news here. Well, this is a story I hadn't heard before. Apparently, it hadn't been told before, but while making the second TNG film, Star Trek First Contact, some people in charge thought it might be a good idea to bring in a huge name to play the main villain, the Borg Queen. Instead of just aiming for a major movie star, however, they thought about bringing in a bona fide legend, Cher.
Wait, this just has joke written all over it on the storyline. What are they trying to do? If I could turn back
Oh, God.
time.
Well, they did turn back time. That's
They did. That's why it fits so well. I can see where they were going with this.
If I could slingshot around the sun.
Keep going, Clint.
in an oral history celebrating the film's 20th anniversary for The Hollywood Reporter. Makeup artist Scott Wheeler shared the details. Quote, "They were talking about Cher playing the role, and no offense to Cher, she's had some great moments, but it would have been so gimmicky, and I doubt she would have been willing to sit through the 4.5-hour makeup we were putting on Alison Krieg." Yeah, I don't think Cher is up for that.
No, probably not.
But
Well, huh?
it was an interesting thought.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Never heard that one before.
Apparently, this was one of the reasons they were kicking that idea around. Is this was like that time when they were just having crossovers. I mean, not crossovers, but celebrity appearances in all sorts of movies, just kind of popping in, and this would be fun.
Art
And,
Varney is coming on Star Trek.
know what I mean? Know what I mean? And I wonder if they'd actually pitched it to Cher, and she said yes, and then she had her first 4.5-hour session in the chair.
I'm out.
Yeah. Nope, never mind.
Right.
Not doing it.
Yeah. Well, this next bit of news is interesting because I really like the Orville, but in a bit of
Put this in here just for you, sir.
just for me, in a bit of news we did miss, production of season 4 of the Orville, now called the Orville New Horizons, will begin in January 2025. Actually, production of did I say production? Yeah, production of. Well, actually, the sets will be built in January. There's no word on a premiere date yet, and that comes from the official podcast, right?
Yep, it does indeed. So yeah, it will be a while. I mean, just like with all the stuff we talk about for the Trek things, the post-production on these shows is insane. So I don't know, you maybe be looking at the latter part of next year, possibly. I mean, they're not, and again, they're not filming in January. They're just going to, I guess they share the set with Ted. And so when Ted wraps, then they strike that, they're going to rebuild all the sets, and then they'll start shooting.
Yeah. Did y'all watch Ted, by the way?
I watched an episode or two. I haven't watched anything more than that, but I've watched a couple of episodes.
Yeah. I actually liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
If you like Ted, you'll like Ted on TV.
That's right. Right. Yes.
All right. Now, I don't have anything formal on this, but it's time for Chapter 11 of the Battle for Paramount Mountain.
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, I needed an echo for that one.
Yeah. Come on.
All right. Now, we are still in the go shop period for this merger of Skydance and Paramount. Well, actually, the beginning being the purchase of Redstone National Amusements. That will end on August 21st at 11:59 p.m. So August 22nd is going to be a busy day for me. But what has been happening in the meantime? Well, you've got the normal things like people that are high up, people in marketing have just decided, I'm out. The head of merchandising for Nickelodeon said, peace out, bye-bye. Yeah. Then we had word that apparently a streaming partnership may be something that will be happening soon. This is that office of the CEO they were really cryptic about what, if anything, was going to be happening. So either there's something happening or there's nothing happening at all. You decide on that one.
So flip a coin, because you're both right.
And the biggest thing is that Skydance said that even during this 45-day period that Paramount Global should continue with the plans they'd put in place about how to save the company. So they announced their earnings. Paramount Plus actually had a profit this last quarter.
Yeah.
But the valuation on a lot of the assets of Paramount Global, the cable channels especially, they took a $6 billion hit on devaluing those assets.
Yeah. The doomsday device was coming.
And then they turned around and laid off 15% of their workforce. And then after that, they decided to shut down. Now, this is confusing because they shut down Paramount Television. And Paramount Television is producing stuff like if you've watched Reacher, which is on Amazon, and a bunch of other shows are produced through Paramount Television. And well, what does that mean? Are those shows are just they got to find someplace else? No. What's happening is that you're getting rid of a lot of people that worked at Paramount Television, but CBS Studios will now be taking over those productions.
Right. So
the productions will continue. It's just that you won't have this other unit doing stuff. Yeah. And I don't know what the next shoe is to drop here in their plans. I didn't look today because it's frightening sometimes to look. I'm hoping when August 22nd rolls around, something a bit more substantial in terms of, okay, you can stop that now. Yeah. We some cash coming in. So just hold off on doing that.
Yeah.
But it's been brutal. However, they're not alone because at the same time that they were taking this write-off on their assets, Warner Brothers Discovery was doing exactly the same thing.
Right. Well, Warner Brothers Discovery has been doing some weird stuff all along, but yeah, like writing off a bunch of things.
Yeah, they've done another, I believe they've done a third one of those. Oh, the movie's done, but we're not going to release it.
Yeah, they made some questionable stuff. And everybody's like, what? Like the Batgirl movie that had Michael Keaton also in it. Yeah, everybody was looking forward to it, and then they just scrapped it and said it was unwatchable.
So they scrapped that movie. They were even getting good feedback. We talked about this one, I think. They were getting good feedback on the Looney Tunes movie.
Yeah.
Where it was Wile E. Coyote versus Acme. It was like a courtroom drama. Yeah. And they said, no, we're not going to show it. Paramount offered money, as did other people say, well, we'll take it. Nope. We're taking the write-off, the markdown.
I thought somebody did pick that up.
Nope. They're producing another one. I don't even know why. I don't know who would want to be associated with this, but they're also doing another Looney Tunes movie. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I hope those people get their movie released.
Yeah.
So it's a mess right now, but at least this, misery loves company, and Paramount is not alone.
Now, I would love to see a Star Trek Muppets movie.
Well, that's Disney.
I know. No, I'm just setting aside the owners. Can you imagine seeing the Muppets?
Yeah. Pigs in space.
Pigs in space.
Right.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Oh, well, never mind. Hey, it's been done.
All right. And let's see if it's here in Vulcan, Alberta, Canada news. But we don't have any Star Trek news. However, I just want to quickly mention that hundreds of Alberta farmers are reporting damages following a violent hailstorm that happened a couple of weeks ago. And I guess a lot of crops were damaged in that hailstorm. So, we're hoping that everybody is safe there, and we hope that they can recover from that because, it's a farming community, and, you don't have a crop, everybody suffers. So,
and if climate change keeps up, Vulcan, Alberta, Canada is going to look like Vulcan.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, that's the news that we've got. There was a lot more stories that we didn't get a chance to cover. We've got a ton of them. If you go over to the show notes for episode 165 over at thetopicistrek.com, then you can see stories from the TV series, the movies. We've got stuff in there about games, comic books, a section I call Actor Watch, where sometimes it's not just actors, it's other behind the scenes people, articles about stuff that they've been doing. So
we literally watch them, we literally watch them on
stare
webcams.
At them. Just kind
of.
Yeah. All right. That said, it's time to head out on our main mission, part 2.
Wait, we got to say goodbye to Charlie.
Oh, that's right. We get to say goodbye to Charlie. This is my favorite part of the show. Why did I forget about that? Because I love doing that. So it's time to say goodbye, Charlie.
Thanks for having me along. It was fun. But now my Phasian step-parents are calling, so I gotta go! Go!
That's-
Go! Go!
That is the worst beard.
Like I said, he can do all these things. Why can't he? Even if it's a fake goatee,
Hey,
Put
just go
some
talk to
effort
Mirror Spock.
put some effort into it, Charlie. you
Yeah, he
know?
can get one from Mirror Spock.
All right. Now, Craig, do you want to give us the lowdown on our second episode?
I can do that. So, Star Trek Prodigy, season 2, episode 8. Is there beauty and no truth? I think the title there is messed up in our show notes. Is there no beauty and no truth? Written by Keith Sweet II, directed by Rulon Lee and Andrew L. Schmidt. The short synopsis says, the crew deters to a colony of non-corporeal entities who offer Zero an opportunity to obtain a physical body. Janeway discovers Dahl's real intentions.
Dun dun dun.
Okay. So we've got once again 2 stories. Which should we start with this time around?
Let's start on the Voyager this time.
Okay, kick us off. No, don't kick us off Voyager, but lead us through what's happening on Voyager. Chuck.
I walked into that one. I'm trying to remember how Voyager started out this storyline.
It's a memorable episode. Clearly.
What was going on Voyager? I remember the Zero storyline better. I'm really not drawing a whole lot from what happened on Voyager at the moment.
Well, let's move on to the other part of the story then, shall we?
Maybe it'll pop up for us.
Yeah.
Because when you said Janeway discovers Dahl's real intentions, like, when did that happen?
Yeah, well, I do not write these brief synopses. I
Right.
trust that Memory Alpha has got a good synopsis, and sometimes it doesn't.
That piece seems a little off, but let's
Well,
continue.
look,
with Zero.
an episode starts off with Zero dealing with the damage and not feeling very useful.
Right.
and
Right.
burdened.
It's mainly a Zero story, which
Right.
makes it sound like it's a nothing story. No, it's a
Zero
it's
story.
a story that involves Zero and their journey that we have talked about, because I had non-corporeal in my notes for the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
They're cruising through space. Zero's going, hey, I don't feel very useful because I'm damaged. They've tried to make repairs on me, but it's a bit clumsy, and there's only a few spare parts on this ship. When a voice in the night calls out and realizes that it's another Medusan,
Yeah.
and Gwen says, "Who are you talking to?" She's like, "There's other non-corporeal species out there on a planet, and they want me to come and join." And they said, "Well, wait a minute. We do have to get back to finding the protostar." And they said, "Well, hang on. We took time out for this. We're going to take time out for Zero."
Right.
And kind of went back and forth on a little bit and said, "No, that makes sense. That's what we'll do."
I fully support that plan. I think it's a good plan.
Yeah.
Great plan. It's a very strange looking planet because it has these rings that are
normally rings. There's one set of rings. They may be concentric, but there's one set of rings around the equator. This one's got 2 sets, and they're sort of offset from the equator. So I question the physics of that, but hey, we can continue to be surprised by the cosmos, so I let it go.
Well, I think we need to get Dr. Aaron back on to explain some of this stuff to us, because
is this even possible, Dr. Aaron?
She may say that was the week I was on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on PTO, and somebody else had to answer that question.
Oh, so the reason we can't remember what happened on Voyager is because we already talked about it. These 2 episodes are melding together in my brain. The interrogation of Dahl is in this episode.
Yes.
So, but we already talked about that. So let's move on, shall we? Because really, like I said, there's very little of Voyager in this episode. It
Right.
really is mostly about this
Zero.
this thing that happens to Zero, which took me by surprise.
But
Wait a minute.
they get to the planet and they walk out wearing the red visors that you see from
Spock's protective
TOS.
eyewear.
Yeah, protective eyewear.
To stop them
And
from
these
going
beings-
insane.
These beings come at them
Hey.
and say, "You won't need those." He said, "Well,
Hey,
we were told there were
it's-
Medusans here."
It's Spock's custom eyewear that you can buy at Target. You know, it's on his own line.
You can
Well,
find it in the sporting goods aisle next to the ski rack.
Well, the replicator would take care of that for them, obviously.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Yeah, I thought
yeah,
that was. I had to pause it and laugh out loud the first time I saw that. I was like, did I see just what I saw in there?
Yep. These beings come at them and say, "Hey, we thought there were Medusans here." They said, "Oh, no, we are the Medusans." It's like, "But you're walking around with legs and arms." I said, "Yeah, we made bodies for ourselves with various
Well.
styles." It kind of reminded me of like the Maasai tribe in Africa. You know, very
Mhm.
tall, slender people, rings around the neck, the whole deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was interesting that they were drawing from cultures on Earth. They said, "Well, come join us. You've arrived at the right time, Zero. This is the Festival of Senses." Is that what they called it?
Yeah, but
Yes.
I got back up a bit here. It's like, I don't know. Ion, the lead on the planet,
Yes.
he just gave up a really creepy vibe.
Yes.
Talking in
The whole
this
time.
very calm.
And I think that was intentional.
Yeah, because I was like, should Zero even trust these people? You know,
Well,
When-
they're
when-
your own kind. I think it's implicit that you kind of do.
yeah. Well, how many times have we seen, your own kind do something bad on?
Just
Star
look at
Trek.
Cybok.
Yeah, I'm just saying that he gave off that vibe, and when he was giving Zero the opportunity to get a body, I was like, I'm not sure if I feel comfortable with this. For a moment.
Yeah, and when they do finally convince Zero to take on a corporeal form or to transfer consciousness into this body, will I feel anything? And Ion says, "You will feel everything." And as this casket is closing,
Yeah.
they-
So
you
what-
find
what-
out,
Really,
you
really?
didn't really tell them the whole story.
Yeah.
Told them enough to make a decision. Like that's
Yeah.
when you know something's up.
Yeah, just and him
Yeah, I even had.
or they talking like that kind of reinforced that, yeah, something is up, and that tracks.
Yep.
I even had. You will feel everything. Sounds ominous. That's what I wrote.
Yeah, I mean, I got the point of that, though. The first time I heard it, I thought, well, that's really ominous, and I thought, well, no, it's that, will I feel anything? You'll feel everything.
Right, which is you will have senses to feel everything. That wasn't the creepy part to me. It's just when they said, "Yeah, you didn't kind of give them the whole story."
And
So-
I was
Right.
like, well, tell us what the rest of the
Of course,
story is.
Zero comes out with this new body and is just amazed by all the smells and sights and sounds, and it's a lot like when Q became human. It's like, "Oh, what's that?" And that should this do it this way? Do I need to eat? This kind of thing.
Yeah.
There were some
Mhm.
humorous moments when Jankum says, "Leave it to an expert. Start shoving things in your mouth."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the toilet, well, it's like toilet homie, we got burps this time around. So yeah,
Right.
covering all those bases.
And Jankum even rates the burp.
Yeah.
Nice
That also-
tonal qualities with a fine effervescence or whatever it was.
Oh, he said. It said ample sound and pungent bouquet.
That's it.
What is this the first time on Star Trek for them burping? Somebody burping?
Maybe.
Could be, I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting first to hang on your show.
The
I-
voice
Yeah.
actor got paid for that. Keep that in mind.
I did think it was pretty convenient they show up on this planet just when they're getting ready to do the Feast of Senses.
Yeah. Well, of course, we don't know if,
that could be
Yeah.
Tuesday. We don't know.
well, they could do it like every month.
Right.
Who knows? I don't
Every
know.
week.
All right.
Every week, every day.
Every
day
third
is a bit much.
cycle
I
of,
don't think you want
you
to do
know.
that every day.
Did y'all see the flyer? Did you see the ad we took out on the paper on the website?
We
No,
put
it
it up
just
on
showed up.
the telephone poles or the.
Oh man, every third ad on Facebook is the Feast of Senses.
Yeah.
This
Enough
can't
already.
be
We get
too
it.
much.
We get
Actually,
to see
it kind of made me want to attend the Feast of Senses, to be honest with you.
we get to see Jake and Pob's fresh dance moves.
They kept it all G-rated. I was wondering what other senses you could titillate.
Wait, did y'all mention that when they got off the ship, those two beings were smelling his armpits?
Yes.
Well, we didn't mention it, but
And we didn't
yeah.
mention it, yeah. And which is interesting because didn't the planet smell like sulfur and whatnot? Or was that on the last show?
The last one.
Oh,
That's on
okay.
the last one, but remember there was a joke about the way Jacob smelled,
Right.
and then they come on this planet. The first part of the show, they're talking about him. They're smelling his armpits.
Because they like, you know, their bodies have sensory organs. So why not? Like this is something we haven't smelled before. I would, and it's not necessarily assumed that, you know, what we would say, you know, sulfur smells like decay and rot and we wouldn't go near it. So we're offended by some of those smells. There may be cultures that go, hey, that smells delicious. You know, that's we eat sulfurous food as part of it's a delicacy. So, you know, maybe smelling Jankum's armpits smelled good to some people.
Well, my dogs also like to smell things that I don't like to smell. So,
Right. Things dropped by other dogs.
Wow, we got to gone this deep.
We're
Let's get
going
back
all
to
over
the
map. Back
episode.
to the show. Back
My
to
Yeah.
goodness.
yeah.
okay.
All
So
right.
part of the Feast of Senses is what kind of like their version of the running of the bulls.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was the running of the Nazamon.
except they are
So,
actually wearing flowers that seem to attract it.
Right, because this big sky manta ray thing
yeah.
comes down and eats the flowers as they float up into the air. Well, they're pretty much trying to bait themselves, which would be like running in front of a pit bull with a stake around your neck.
The concept was interesting, though. The reason they're doing this is because they are, for all intents and purposes, immortal, but the thought that you could be killed by this beast helps them appreciate
Life.
the life in the sense
Kind of
that they have
adrenaline
these
junkies in a
senses.
way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, but as Zero mentions later on, well, you could have told me first and let me decide whether I wanted to do this or.
Well, and just because you're there for
Oh.
the Feast of Fools doesn't mean you have to run the race, does it?
Apparently it does.
Well, actually, that was the was Io the Ion.
Ion, yeah.
Ion did say that they didn't. They made the decision to keep it from Zero, because they wanted her to have the Feast of Senses first, and then make the decision.
Yeah.
The doctor said I'm not supposed to exercise for an hour after I eat.
Well, also,
I mean, they I don't think Zero could make the decision, just hearing about the running of the Nazamon, rather than having all the senses and understanding what it's going to be like.
I also thought it was interesting that Zero got used to those legs pretty darn quick.
Yeah, pretty clueless about what the word run meant at first. They're just standing around watching everybody go by.
Usually we take about 4 months to train for a marathon, but dang gum, come on.
You don't have to be the fastest. You just have to be faster than Zero.
You just have to know how to duck.
Hey, I like that, faster than Zero.
It's a song by the Clash or something.
Fix?
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Fix. Faster than Zero.
Well, Dahl and Gwyn and Rock and Jankum know about what's going to be happening here, and they go chasing after Zero to let them know what's happening, and she's interested to hear it, but she's still kind of caught up in all this stuff going on. And I'm gonna get over this eventually. They go back to running again, and it isn't until Doll is swept up and taken away that they stop and go, "Oh wait, whoa, this is not good."
Doll and Zero did.
Right. Well, Zero made the conscious effort to try to go to save Doll,
Right.
rather than continue running the race.
Again, sacrificing herself to try and help the
You
greater.
don't die very quickly if you get sucked up by one of these sky stingrays. Is you hang out in the mouth for a while, and you can ride for a long time. So it didn't
the
seem like a very
Starlight Pit.
dangerous, and you can even climb back out if you want.
That's right.
It's
It's
like
up
a
to
very
you.
dangerous game.
It was like the Starlight Pit, and on Tatooine. Go in there and hang
The threat
around for
level
about
was
1,000
kinda
years.
low.
Do what?
The threat level was kind of low,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they do survive. And Zero is then given the choice. She can either stay, where they can guarantee as best as you can that she will have this body forever, or she can leave, but
It decays or something. It wasn't real clear what happened. It just sort
it's
of
going to happen. It's you can't, if you leave, it's not going to be good.
After a while, he starts looking like a zombie walking around the ship.
I'm thinking,
yeah,
they're
with
not
light
far from
beams
it.
shooting out the cracks.
They're not far from it. It's a skull with these, the little
Yeah.
eyes in it. So
Right.
close already. And Zero decides to go with the crew back to the Infinity.
So that'll be an interesting chain of events.
So it's a rather simple episode.
Didn't they start figuring out more about the on Voyager about the holograms?
Well, it turns out that we talked about this, especially now they got the video to remind me, that stuff
We jumped ahead.
was in the second episode.
Yep.
Where they actually talked to hologram Gwyn.
Yeah.
So the first episode is where things slow down at the end of the episode, and the tentacles try to take Gwyn, but it's not really Gwyn. It's hologram Gwyn.
No, they figure, because they have they show the Doctor and Janeway talking, and he goes, "I've been betrayed by my own brilliant storylines."
Right. That's what I'm saying. We talked about that. We talked about, like, it was on the last
right,
episode.
okay.
So
Right.
we did cover that. So I felt like, if I recall correctly, it was only a few minutes of the entire episode. This really was centered on this story for it. But we did talk about what happens to them. So
Yeah.
when you're talking about rating this episode, or maybe rating the last episode as well, that part of the story was in
Yes.
Yep.
this one.
Yeah.
Do we have any other thoughts about this one, which is a play on the title of the original series episode?
Is there in truth
no beauty?
They flipped it.
Is there in beauty no truth?
Right.
I liked that, especially since tied in with the Medusans and the withholding of facts, not really lying, but not exactly divulging the truth. I thought that was very creative on the title.
Yeah. And my bad, I was reading the title wrong at the beginning.
That's okay. I mean, it's not. It's it's a kind of a convoluted English
Yep.
sentence there. So
Stupid grammar.
all right. I guess I begin this one.
Don't
Yeah.
call your mother's mother stupid.
What are we going to
What?
rate this one on, though?
How
Please don't say burps.
about those flowery things on their head?
Oh, I was going to say the Navromons.
So laurels.
Sure.
Laurels.
Dandelion wreath.
Those are gardenias that they had on their heads.
chrysanthemum crowns.
Bouquets. We'll go with bouquets. How about that?
Corporeal bodies, maybe.
I'm going to give this one.
Oh, how about the cups of the
Me, yes.
Stomach
juices
juice.
of the hog's what
Stomach
liquid-
juice. Yeah.
the stuff that Dal was saying. This is the best stuff ever. What's it
Oh,
made
it's very
out of?
filling, though. I couldn't possibly have any more of that.
Yeah. Oh.
The hog
That's right.
belly juice.
Yeesh.
All right.
All right.
Rate it up.
I'm going to give this one because I had some issues with it, but kind of like the last one, I did like the fact that you have a change that happens. All of a sudden, Zero is not the same Zero that we've known for a season and a half.
Well, Zero said it's about time I get an upgrade, but they just had an upgrade. Remember, started out on
Yeah.
as this old junk heap of collection of parts, and then when we get off of Tars Lamora a little bit later, nice shiny white kind of Star Trek looking outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just a
Like,
little
you
variant.
just got an upgrade. What are you talking about? It's about time.
That's a
Starfleet.
variant on the old
Yeah.
my old outfit. This one is all new.
It's about time I get a new iPhone. You just got last year's model.
But this one's all cracked and everything. I can't
Yeah.
use that.
Well, that one was cracked. Yeah, you definitely deserve an upgrade if you're.
I'm going to give this one. I'm going to give this one an 8 because I like the fact that I don't know like how it's going to affect things as we go forward, but I like the fact that they were not afraid of saying, "Okay, we're going to change this character, just a completely different character.
Right.
Same Zero is still Zero, but it doesn't look like Zero anymore."
Right.
And,
we have to keep confused. We have to keep Janeway on her toes.
Yeah. When you left, didn't look like that. What happened?
By the way, I like the glowy eyes when Zero was in the body.
All right,
Yeah.
so what about you, Craig?
I'm gonna give this one 8.5. I like the story. The only problem I had with it was really the Navamon. You know, they were able to get out of its mouth pretty easy after they really played up the death part of this whole thing.
It's more of a vegetarian anyway.
Yeah. So when they played that up, I thought, okay, here's the, like you said earlier, Clinton, the threat level's up, but it wasn't quite that bad.
It's kind of odd.
Huh?
That means that they've had trouble dialing in that threat level. You have
Yeah.
a huge fireball, or you can just walk out of the beast. You know,
It
like-
feels like they're still pandering to the children's level a bit here.
Maybe a
Wow.
little. So, other than that, I liked it. I liked the idea that they were, oh, now we have senses. Oh, now we want to feel everything and even fear, and that's what this all is about. So, yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
as long as the next episode doesn't have Zero like raiding the icebox or something like that.
Yeah. Right.
Zero's
right.
trying
Hey,
out that
the
new
ghost-
sonic toilet.
The next episode, the Ghostbusters show up to capture Zero.
And what about you, Chuck?
I'm going to go with an 8. Again, this is very, very well written. I loved the characterizations, the different races they had, the visuals, the storytelling. I thought it was well put together.
Again, another episode where the team's really trying to stick together and help each other out.
8 cups of hog juice for me.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's not rated. Ugh.
I don't like it when you put it that way.
I guess it's not nasty stuff. I guess it's really great stuff. It's just I don't know. Not sure about
Don't
that.
knock it till you try it.
All right. Before we get to refilling the lithium chamber,
Yes.
are we good to say anything about DC? Do we have thumbs
Dragon
up?
Con?
Yeah, do we have
Yeah, why
thumbs up?
not?
Yeah, it's only like 2 weeks
Okay.
away.
All right. So we're gonna be having a panel once again this year. The topic is Trek on Saturday at
Sunday.
4
Sunday,
I'm sorry, Sunday at 4:00,
4 o'clock.
and it's in the
Galleria 2 and 3, wherever downstairs.
yeah
Take a lap.
downstairs at the Hilton.
Escalators.
Hilton, take the escalators down to We're in the basement again, people.
Sometimes you got to
We
take the
belong.
basement.
What
Yeah.
can I say?
Should be
All
on
right.
the schedule. Get the app. Look for Topic is Trek, or one of our names might be on it. Probably yours, Clinton.
You can also come to our Comedy Forecast Technorama show because, speaking of which,
Same day.
yes,
Oh,
Valencia plans to be there. Woohoo! That's one.
there you go.
one,
We have a
yay!
job for you.
Uh-oh.
All
Show
right.
up twice. We'll give you a sticker.
You can find me, Clinton, at comedyforecast.com, all one word with the number 4. And I'm in the middle of, as are my co-hosts here, of doing Dog Days of Podcasting. I'm doing odd news stories every day. One real odd news story and 2 that are odd, but they're not real.
Yeah.
And I want to say who speaks for you guys, because you should both talk about what you're doing on your dog days. But
Sure.
who wants to mention about Technoramas?
You can find us at Technorama Podcast. Just search for Technorama Podcast on your favorite search engine, or go to chuckchat.com/Technorama. Craig and I do a somewhat weekly show Sunday nights where we geek out news, science, nerd stuff, things we built, things we found, whatever crosses our mind. A lot of fun. We've been doing that for, we're on our 20th year. How's that for a story?
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. Hope to see you there. Dog Days of Podcasting. I am on my road to retirement. I am officially retiring on September 6th. So I've got, about 20 some days left. 11 if you count work days only. And it's coming up quick. I'm calling Dragon Con a retirement party with 80,000 of my closest friends. So hope to see you there.
Yeah. I didn't really have a solid plan because I was actually moving before Dog Day started. So I'm just kind of doing a daily thing, little daily journal.
And listener Diane said, yes, we will be in the parade again this year. We're the closing group. We are
Yep.
the Robot Santa group from Futurama. Clinton will be Scruffy. Craig will be Philip J. Fry. I will once again reprise my role as Hubert Farnsworth, slippers, bald head, and all. It's a great time. We have a returning group of friends. The chat group we have is active. We're getting daily, hourly updates on some of this stuff about things being painted and created. It is going to be a wonderful group. Best one ever, I can guarantee you.
As we're getting closer to Dragon Con, I normally don't have like my Facebook Messenger messages coming on my watch, but Chuck kind of shamed me into it. I put it on there.
No,
and
I
now
just
it's like,
said make sure you get your text
no,
messages on your watch.
and then it's like my wrist is about to fall off.
All right.
That's because last week we were looking for Craig and he wasn't around.
Well, nobody texted
him
me
twice and he wasn't around. And his calendar wasn't around. He wasn't carrying his phone. He was expecting his watch to live his life for him.
Maybe I was taking a digital break.
Maybe you were. But
is that a euphemism for spending time with your wife?
Let's move along.
Yes. Let's hit the theme, boys.
He had no comeback. I silenced him. The theme. Yes, the theme.
If you like the show, please be sure to tell a friend about it and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on X at The Topic is Trek. Visit our Facebook page or call us at 816-TREKKER. That's 816-873-5537. Until next time, on behalf of Chuck, Craig, and myself, I'm Clinton, thanking you for listening. And as we always say here on The Topic is Trek,
don't
put on
the red shirt.
I'm so confused.
Got it. Oh, I got nervous a couple times there. Google was saying disconnected. Like, oh no, it always says that right before I lose connection on StreamYard, but didn't happen. Did that?
Hey, I also like sometimes especially when we're doing a show, Chuck, I start seeing the little meter like it's losing signal or something on StreamYard. I'm like, no, we're almost done.
Get the hamster back on the wheel, quick.
Yeah. Beep, 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 beep.
We are done. Look forward to seeing you, Valencia.
Yes,
Indeed,
very much
indeed.
so.
And everybody else who's watching this after the fact. We look forward to seeing you. I know there are a number of listeners that will be following us as well. Gary and Crazy Joe and Kyle. And this is one of those times where you only get to see these people in person once a year. And we really look forward to that.
Oh, it's not like we don't hear from them all the time.
Sometimes. Some we do, some we don't.
That's true. Sometimes.
I mean, how often do we hear from Leon? But there he is at our
Yeah.
combined show. Like he lives there. Maybe he does. I don't know. Well, he does live in Atlanta. But
Yeah.
Well, we're going to say goodbye.
yes.
Now?
Bye.
We'll talk
Bye,
to you
everybody.
next time.
Take care.